You guys want to see a pissed off animal? Joe, you better leave him alone. He's about ready to light you up. Leave him alone. You're going to get lit up. I don't want a vet bill. You don't want your dogs to tangle with one of them, because you will end up with a vet bill. They are tough, dirty, rotten, mean, miserable son of a guns. Joby, come on. Come on. He'll get mad and come after me in a minute. Yeah, I came out here to this ranch to work on their hay squeeze, and heard my dog's raising hell down here. She don't have any, she's not bleeding. Well, yeah, I thought I'd show you guys the badger, and they can get mean and miserable now, I'm telling you. Joby, go on, that's enough. That's enough, come on. Come here. Leave him alone. I don't need no vet bills. Caterpillar V180B, that's what I came out here to work on. This thing's got some Torrington bearings here in the axle, and the bottom bearing was gone, and it kind of beat the Kingpin up, and I actually tore it apart here a few days ago. But the machine shop said they were so busy they couldn't get to it for at least 2 weeks. So what we're going to do here to make the Torrington bearing fit a little tighter on there is we're going to take some brazing rod and braze this up real good, and then take a polishing wheel and just try to polish it till that needle bearing, till the slop's gone, you know, there on that needle bearing. It just, if you roll it across this end here, you know, it feels good. You get down here where that Kingpin was beating around a little bit. It's just a little bit of play. So if we just braze that up and polish that down, I mean, it's, you know, it's just a Kingpin. It ain't something that's going down the road 90 miles an hour. So we'll braze this up, and I'll show you how terrible of a brazier I am. So we took some brazing rod and brazed up that low spot where the Kingpin was banging around in there. Now we'll take a polishing wheel, one of them 3M pads on a die grinder, and just keep polishing that down and sliding that bearing over that till it feels halfway decent. And we'll let her cool down. You want to naturally let that thing cool down. You don't want to quench it. These Kingpins are really hard metal. So just kind of let her naturally cool down after you get done with it. And then slide it in there and let it, you know, you don't want to slide it in there and put it on your brand new bearing that's all hot like that anyway. You'll screw up your new bearing. So we'll polish this thing down and kind of see how that feels with our diagram, or with our Torrington bearing. Another thing to note on these, when you're brazing one of these, I mean, this one here I had to hold quite a bit of heat on it. I mean, the heavier the metal is, you gotta have to turn your torch up to get it to, you know, if you get it down too low, that brazing rod, it won't stick to it. It'll just roll off. So make sure you're carrying enough heat to make that stuff stick. I mean, usually the heavier the piece is, the more heat you're going to have to carry. To kind of take the thick stuff off with. Now we're going to take a kind of a polishing wheel there and try to get it fine-tuned now. Where she's kind of filled in the low spots there, you can kind of see where your original metal kind of, you just kind of feather it through with your polishing wheel so it kind of fills the low spots in. Just keep sliding your bearing over there. Feels pretty good. We're going to turn it around. It's kind of rough. Polish this other edges up and put her back in there. Brazed up. Notice on this shaft it's got a little different than trucks. You know, trucks got those wedge pins that go in the steering knuckle there that hold the Kingpin. This has just got a little square slot, and there's a big Allen that threads into the back side of the actual steering knuckle back here somewhere. Where's it at? Yeah, there's a threaded hole with a big Allen set screw that goes in there. And here's our steering knuckle. So we're gonna slide this thing in there. Oh, everything on these big old forklifts is heavy. I mean, everything's heavy, heavy, heavy. That hub is, God, that thing must weigh 200 pounds. It's crazy how heavy that hub is. I guess they're using that for their counterbalance or something. I don't know. I mean, look at the iron back here on this thing. I mean, that's a chunk of iron right there. Holy cow. I wonder what the ass end of this thing weighs with the motor in it and everything. This came from an old, I think this was originally a Weyerhaeuser forklift at the Weyerhaeuser mill in Klamath Falls, and then they bought it. The guy that had it at the auction, he had originally bought it from Weyerhaeuser, and he had a clamp, a squeeze clamp put on it, and then these guys bought it from him at an auction there. So, okay, let me get this steering knuckle. There it is. Greased the hell out of it, and I had to make my own set screw, and it just is just the right length to work. I had to cut it and grind on it and run a die over it, and to see where it just barely clears that in there. I'm probably gonna have to go find the right set screw. Go back to town when I'm in town and get one. It's a 1/2-inch Allen head set screw. I don't know where the hell the other one went. We got that done. Now we gotta put that big heavy son of a gun on there. Put the tie rod in it, so we might as well put the old tie rod in her. Holy crap! You know, there was something that didn't weigh 200 pounds when they picked it up. A little dust boot. Oh, it's off of there. Stick that back on there. Okay. I'll have to start this thing and turn the wheel straight. Get my darn dumb dog out from underneath the pickup. He's always in a spot where he shouldn't be. I don't want it to fall off there and kill him. Come on, get out of there. Let's go. Hey, get out of there. Come on, Joe. Get out of there. Now let's fire this thing up and get the wheel turned straight. Boy, I just did the clutch on this thing a week ago. And look where the pack rats have been in here shitting everywhere. Wow. Oh. Let's see if this old 3208 will start. Oh yeah. Okay. Zip. Tie rod it up, put the cotter pin in it. Cotter pin back in it. After this, we got to go to a HW300 New Holland Swather. Poor guy, he let his grandson run a Swather, and his grandson, he'd never been around equipment very much, and he decided he was going to bang out the air cleaner at lunchtime, and while he was cutting, and well, he didn't get the air cleaner back in it right, and they ran it for 2 days like that. And then he calls me and he says, "Hey, this thing's blowing oil out the blow-by tube and it won't start now." I said, "Well, check your oil, So he put 2 gallons of oil in it. They only hold 3. And he said, still won't start. Spinning over. And I said, well, take some ether and squirt into it, see if it'll start on ether. So he started it on ether, and he says, oh, it runs good, but it's blowing oil out the blow-by tube. I said, your engine's dusted. And he says, what's that? And I said, well, you got dirt that went through your intake somewhere, and it's polished the rings and polished the cross hatches out of the bore. So I was really busy at the time, and he called New Holland to come out there. New Holland told him, oh, we don't rebuild those engines. We'll just change that engine out. It's going to cost you about $19,800 is what they quoted him. And anybody that knows anything in those HW300s, shoot, those are like, oh, that's an 06. Why would you spend 20 grand doing that on that old Swather? So he waited a little while, and when I got freed up, I went out there and I pulled the cylinder head off. And yesterday I just honed it, and we re-ringed it with new rings and started it right up. And it runs fine, no blow-by. I telescoped all the gauges and measured them with a mic, and about 4 spots in the bores, and it was fine. So saved him a lot of money, you know. He's not, you know, he just cuts hay for his own cows. He's not a custom hay farmer or anything like that. So there's no sense in going out and buying a brand new $200,000, $150, whatever they cost now, I don't know, machine to just, you know, cut 200 acres of hay with. There's no sense in doing that. And there ain't no sense in spending $20,000 to change out a 4-cylinder engine. Those are simple old engines, or non-emissions, or nothing to them. Just blows me away how much they want for something anymore, and how much these dealers want to charge you to do anything. They don't. And the other thing is they don't fix anything. I mean, they're parts changers. They just want to put a whole new engine in there because they can't fix that one. You know, I don't know. It's crazy. I do not look forward to this. This is heavy. I don't know if I can get that. I don't know if I can get my crane on that or not. How heavy is it? Oh, man, no way. No way. I'm going to get my slip hook chain and wrap around it, and I'm going to lift that up with my crane. I am picking that bastard up. Okay. A little bit tricky, but we can get her done. I'm going to wrap the slip hook chain around this hub. Man, it's just a big solid chunk of iron. Wow. Not like lifting this heavy crap anymore. When I was younger, I used to go, oh, let's pick that up and throw that on there. Not anymore, I ain't doing it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth getting screwed up and getting hurt and not being able to work, not be able to take care of your family. But I'm probably going to be doing this for another 20 years. Before I turn loose of it, I'll get that bearing in there. Bearing's already packed pretty good with grease, so. Lift up a little bit on there. Crane. Kind of pulling it sideways so I can get it up here on the top. Awesome. Bearing's not wanting to slide on the shaft. It's got this lock collar in the nut. There's a nut down here on this rack to get out of the dirt. Hey there. Alright, we got her. Wow, that thing is heavy. But that thing weighs 200 pounds. Now I gotta remember what size the nut was. I believe it was 2 9/16. Yeah. Oh man. Wheel bearing grease all over my hands. I can't hold on to anything now. And my socket's got wheel bearing grease on it. And it fell down in the dirt. Now it's got dirt and shit all in it. That's all I need is to fill the whole hub full of dirt and gravel, and it won't last long after that. This place I'm at right now, it's about, my normal shop's a little small area, small town kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but this is really out in the middle of nowhere. This ranch is, this is like 40 miles. I mean, just kind of plotted right out in the middle of this ranch is kind of, it's right out in the middle of nothing. I mean, just sagebrush. They've kind of carved a ranch out here, and it's crazy. Tight and back her off about a quarter turn. Okay, ready for high-speed operations. Still need to get back to that 5R110 project. I got the transmission rebuilt. It's got to stick it in the vehicle. Just haven't had time. I'll try to see if I can get to that today. That guy there, he's on my ass about that. pretty well ready to go. Put the tire on this old girl out front and drive her down the road and see how everything operates. Come on, get out of there before you get run over, ding dong. I don't know if any of you guys, any of you viewers have ever seen one of these hay squeezes. I don't know what they use back there to load them with. I know a lot of guys here use squeezes, and there's a lot of guys using JCB loaders, you know, those articulated telehandlers, that those 541-70 Agras. And then there's people just, oh man, should have blew this seat out. I got sitting in a rat shit here. Raise the old clamp up on her. They couldn't drive this thing down the road. You know, that Kingpin bearing was gone on the bottom, but I told them, I said, we used to have this hyster, you know, because when you're going down the road with the clamp in front of you, them hysters, the steering worked just fine on them, but they were all over the place because your steer axle was behind you. We rotated them, you know, we actually rotated them backwards and they steered pretty good. We'll see how this one gets. We'll get up here on some smoother ground where we can kind of open her up. Yeah, she steers going down the road in fourth gear. I haven't found anywhere smooth enough yet to try it. Bouncing that clamp up and down and tear something up. Oh, the clutch is working good because I'm in third gear right now. I wouldn't even move it. Second gear before, so I didn't even put a whole clutch in it. I just got a clutch disc. They've discontinued the clutch on these things, and I couldn't even get a disc from Cat. So I ended up having the disc sent off to Napa, and they had it relined. Alright, I gotta shift. Sorry. That ain't too bad. It's a lot better than some of them hysters I used to run. Those things were terrible. You just gotta learn how to drive these things. Oh, this thing ain't that bad. You gotta be easy with the steering wheel. Don't get too aggressive with it or you'll overcorrect and you'll end up in the ditch. Yeah, we're in fourth gear. She's moving right along. Well, guys, I gotta get this thing turning around here. Hopefully it's got brakes. Try not to get over here with this end gun been spraying. Get stuck. That's my luck. Little heavy hay squeeze is so damn heavy that it wouldn't take much to get her stuck. I thought I could have skipped the gear and just went straight to fourth. That dang door shut on me, and it's hot. I know, well, there's a fan up there, it probably don't work. Well, guys, thanks for watching.